Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their expertise and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions, where we help businesses scale through outside-the-box visibility and automation strategies. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. So excited to have you here. And you're in for a real treat with my guest. We've been chatting behind the scenes, and she's so lovely. I'm excited to get to know her more, and I'm excited for you all to get to know her more. So without further ado, welcome Kim Reynolds with AI Advantage Agency to the podcast. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So Kim, can you share a little bit about you, about AI Advantage Agency and your role within it?
Okay, so I'm one of the co-founders. I have a partner named Colin Lepiscopo, and we used to work together at a company called Social Media Examiner, and he was actually my boss. So he was director of marketing and I was marketing manager, and we both left the company and decided to create something new because we're both really techie geek kind of people. And so we love AI. And so that's how we decided to start the agency about 3 years ago. And yeah, so we're very heavily into the whole AI thing.
Amazing. So for those listening, who are your people? Who are your ideal clients? Who do you serve? And what's the problem that you solve?
Okay, so most of our clients are e-commerce. We focus on e-commerce brands, and the problem we solve is twofold. One, these brands are running ads, be it paid social like Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, or Google Shopping, and they just aren't getting the results they need. And the other thing is they've recognized that agentic commerce is around the corner. They need to get ready so that the AI engines can recommend their products. And so we help them do that. We help them structure all of their content and their products in such a way that AI engines can understand what they have to offer.
Yeah, that's a new thing that I'm hearing about lately, is for visibility purposes, is really being able to set yourself up so when people are going to these AI tools like Claude or Chat, because more and more people are going from to them versus Google. We used to
Oh,
always do a
yeah,
Google search, right? And
right.
now we're doing chat searches and going, okay, I'm looking for this product, or I'm looking for
Mhm.
this service, or I have this problem. What do I do? How do I solve it? And chat's actually recommending products, services, and companies to these
Right,
people searching. So it's a new, but we're hearing more and more about it, especially in the last few weeks. So I
right.
know it's just going to be getting bigger. So it's amazing you help
Quickly.
them. Yeah, because this is something you want to be in the forefront of.
Right.
So Kim, a lot of companies are struggling to stand out online today, especially with how quickly digital marketing is changing, AI is evolving. What are the biggest visibility and lead generation mistakes that businesses are making right now that you're seeing?
I think the biggest mistake they're doing is ignoring AI. They don't really understand how to get cited or recommended by these AI search engines like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, any of them, Google AI overviews, Google AI mode. They don't know what to do, so they kind of want to put their heads in the sand. And that's the biggest mistake because there's still time to be kind of a first mover, but that window is closing quickly. And I'm not saying that to create a sense of false urgency. It's literally true.
Mhm.
It's people, I think, I don't know the current stat, but the last stat that I had heard was somewhere between 40 and 60% of all searches now start with an AI engine like
Wow.
ChatGPT and not on Google. And
Wow.
if you pay attention to your website's analytics at all, you'll see that you're getting less traffic because most of these searches are zero-click searches and people just are being fed the information they need and they don't have to click and go to your website.
Wow. I knew it was happening, Kim. I just didn't know it
Yeah.
was happening that much. 40 to
Oh, it
60%
is.
of searches are happening on these agentic platforms is amazing.
It
That's
is.
and it's something you definitely don't want to be waiting on because as fast as AI is evolving and moving, you want to be in this mode now. And you're right, Kim. It's not a scare tactic. It's just you're being truthful.
Yeah.
The time is now. And I'm seeing that a lot of these companies we don't want to look backwards, right? but a
Right.
lot of the companies that really took time on creating value in information on their website, they're being found more readily and easily on in chat, Claude, and the other platforms that you mentioned. What are some of the things that people can do? So if they are feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not one of those companies, I didn't spend time building the information, or I'm a newer company, how am I going to be, how can I get ahead of this so I'm not one of the companies that are behind? Can you share some like one or two things that they can do now to kind of get in the game?
Yeah, I think that I can just use my own business as an example. And it's kind of like what's that saying? The cobbler's kids have no shoes. I kind of had ignored my own website. It's been around for 3 years. I had ignored it and hadn't really been doing a whole lot of content. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I've been taking care of these people and not our own home, really. And so I just started in January really pumping out content more toward the end of January. And we're already up to 500 to 1,000 citations a day for our content, which is a lot.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
so it's not impossible to jump in there quickly and go full steam ahead. What they want to do is one, especially if you have a WordPress site, it's much easier, but you want to have what's called schema set up. And these are the little bits of information that the AI bots can read so they know what your business is about, all your facts. They want to know who runs the business. And the schema, there's different types of schema, but the main entity schema for organization or local business, that's super important. And then the other thing is, read a good blog post on how to create content that the AI engines can read. They call it parsing, that they can parse easily. So those
Hmm.
are the two biggest things that can be done right now, and they're basically free. I mean, you can have people do it for you, but you can also do it yourself if you have the time.
Amazing. So I want to talk about paid options as well.
Mhm.
So paid media has become more and more competitive. It can be highly a stressful game for a lot of businesses. And it's becoming more expensive over the last few years.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing that works best today when it comes to generating a strong ROI from paid advertising?
I think it really depends on the platform that you're focused on. If you're looking at Meta, Facebook, it's all about the creative now. It used to be you could pick different audiences and you can, refine your targeting. And oh, this is my ICP. This is, I can pick interest. You can't really do that anymore. And
Mhm.
so it's all about your creative, your images and the copy on your ads. So really narrow in on who you're trying to reach and use your creative to speak to that person. And with Google Ads, geez, they've just been changing so much lately. There's so much going on. When PMax came out, everyone was like PMax, and now they have AI Max, and so everyone's up in arms again. And really, I would say that with Google, you want to make sure, especially if you're e-commerce or you're selling products, you want to make sure your feed is set up properly because that's going to impact how you show up in the shopping ads and drive up your costs if you have errors, etc., that type of thing. So,
Mm.
but it really, and for Google also, it's coming down to creative.
Yeah. So what do you suggest for creative? Is there certain creative that works better than others? Is it like images of the person, more AI images, more video type content, or is it just depending on the target market?
Well, that's funny because I was just writing about this last night, actually, about what kind of creative works and when. And so, like I said, we deal a lot with e-commerce clients, and AI generated images actually work better for products under $100. But once
Wow.
you get over $100, then you are looking at user generated content or lifestyle photos, that type of thing, not the AI generated as much.
Mm.
So, if you're selling a service or running paid ads to promote your service and it's not a product based business, then I think AI is allowing you to really iterate quickly because especially on Meta, the algorithm loves lots of creative and creative just diversification. And so AI allows you to produce that at scale without breaking the bank.
Yeah. And I can see why if you're buying a product that's less than $100, you're okay with AI, images. But if you're going to spend a little more money, then you
Mhm.
want to have that, you trust that what you're buying
Right.
is actually what you're seeing. So that completely makes sense. And that's
Yeah.
just such great information. So, Kim, there's a growing conversation around answer engine optimization, AEO, as AI changes how people search and consume information. So, how do you see AEO reshaping digital marketing and discoverability over the next few years?
Well, I think it's important to remember that the basis of any good AEO plan or whatever you have within your organization really rests on good SEO. Those good SEO tactics are not going away. They're vitally important, and good SEO content does produce better AEO results. But SEO isn't the whole picture that's moved on from there. And so I think that in the future, the AEO is just not going to be a negotiable anymore. It's something you
Mhm.
have to do because these AI agents are going to be talking to each other. They're not even going to be, talking to the people. You're going to have websites that are basically structured for the AI agents and not even for human consumption as much. And so I'm sure that they will have dual purposes where the good content can speak to the AI and speak to the human reader at the same time. But I think that in the future, it's going to be much, much, much heavier emphasis on AI readability.
Mm. So, inside businesses today, where is AI actually creating meaningful operational or marketing impact and not just hype?
Well, AI workflows are really important. I think that that's probably the thing that most businesses struggle with right now is they don't know how to use AI to make their lives simpler. Sure, that it can create a lot of content or write a caption for a social media post, that kind of thing. But they don't really understand is that it can actually do things for you. Like I use Claude a lot, and so I have Cowork set up to go through all my emails every morning. And I get a ton of newsletters. So to go through all the newsletters and itemize what I need to know, what's important, because a lot of these newsletters, of course, they repeat each other and they're sharing the same content. So it gives me a list of what's important. I have another automation set up where when I publish a blog post, instead of waiting for Google to find it or waiting for Bing to find it, it automatically gets pushed out to Google Search Console and then it's indexed right away rather than waiting however long, however many days or weeks it takes to get discovered. So it
Mm.
bypasses the whole discovery. And then once that's done, it automatically populates a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet populates a web page where I can go and visually look at, okay, where have I shared it? Where do I need to share it? Click a button on that and it will create the content and to just go into buffer. If you know what buffer is social sharing for content. And so those are just a couple of examples of where you can use AI to automate processes that normally you just do manually and take forever.
I was just going to ask you, where do businesses get stuck most often when trying to implement AI? But I think you basically answered that.
Okay.
So let's talk about agentic commerce. Agentic commerce is becoming one of the more interesting conversations in AI. So, how do you define agentic commerce and what impact do you think it will have on the customer journey and buying behavior?
Oh, that's a good question. That's That's a big question. So agentic commerce is basically the AI agent is completing the purchase for you instead of like right now people are more and more going to AI agents or AI engines and saying, "Oh, I want to find Korean skincare, because that's my thing." So it says, "I want to find the right skincare, what do you suggest for fine lines and whatnot, dry skin?" And so the ChatGPT or whoever will come back and say, "Oh, well, these three products are great for these reasons." And then you say, "Oh, they sort them by price, whatever." Well, in the future, it's going to be, well, find me something that works great for my skin under $50 and, set up a recurring subscription so I can get it mailed to me every 2 months or something like that. And so pretty soon the person is not going to be involved in that decision making process. You're going to tell the agent what you want, and it's going to go out there and find it, look at all
Wow.
the reviews, and purchase for you. And you still will have that customer relationship with, if you want that customer relationship with the company that you're purchasing from, because you can still, I'm sure, log in and check your orders and all of that thing, but you're not going to have to. That's the big difference. You can go back into that chat and say, hey, where's my order? And it
Yeah. That's
finds it for you.
crazy. That's
It's
yeah.
crazy. And it is not far away. It is not far away at all. Google's
Wow.
working on this. ChatGPT is working on this. Perplexity was working on this, not anymore. But they're all getting ready because that's the next $1 trillion industry. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just amazing. I mean,
Wow. Yeah. And we just saw yesterday that ChatGPT, the free version, I have the paid version, but I heard from somebody who has a free version that there's now ads running, sponsored ads running on the free version. So now they're selling ads and they're in beta because I asked Chat, I'm like, what's this going on? And they're like, oh, we're in a beta phase and blah, blah, blah. And you can still get in, you can get in on it. So I was like, so we're looking into that. But so yeah, there's so much happening so fast in change and evolving. And that's pretty interesting. And I just had a woman on about a week ago, actually a week ago today, I think, who she just went on Chat because she was having a reaction to her skincare, and
uh-huh,
she went on and was, sharing about it, and literally it took her to a product and said, this is the product that I recommend for you. She
right.
wasn't asking for a product, and
Hmm.
she bought the product. And it was not expected, and she didn't have to go looking for different products and evaluating them. Like Chat said, based on reviews, this is the product you should have. So she went and bought it. Yeah.
Well, that's funny because in that same article that I was working on last night, 38% of these types of conversations don't start out with someone looking for a product, but result in a sale. 38%, that's huge.
That is
You know,
huge.
just, you go looking for information, you don't realize there's something that solves your problem, and then pretty soon, boom, you can just go and order it. And then the next boom is going to be it orders it for you.
That's just this is awesome and amazing
It is.
and
It
incredible.
is.
So I'd like to talk about your growth, Kim, with your company. So you're in business 3 years. Let's talk about you shared who this is for and who you work with and the problem you solve. What challenges have you faced when you started? Is there one or two challenges that you guys had when you started, you and your business partner, and then how did you overcome it?
I would say since we started 3 years ago, both of us have been in marketing for over 20 years, a long time. And but we started this business and we wanted it focused on AI, but we were too soon to the market. 3 years ago, people were just barely hearing about ChatGPT and they had no idea how to use it, but they didn't really see the need for an agency to come in and do things. And so we struggled the first year, and then I shared a little bit of my story where I was health issues out of the picture for 18 months. And but that was the biggest challenge, is waiting for the market to catch up to where we were with our agency. And honestly, I would say that, I'd like to say I had this great, plan answer, but I didn't. It was really just a matter of waiting and just making sure we stayed educated during that time, because things were moving so quickly and changing so quickly that, we knew we very well might. In fact, the things we thought we were going to do in the beginning, like create chatbots, that is, we don't even offer that anymore. It's not even one of our services. So, I mean, that's how fast things have changed and moved.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm curious because there's a lot of talk about AI now, and we see a lot
Mhm.
of AI agencies out there. So how are you staying top of mind, visibility wise, marketing wise? What are you doing to get in front of your e-commerce companies? On one side, what's working for you? And then on the flip side of that, are there things that you've tried that haven't worked for you? Being a marketing agency, this is really a good question, curious question, because you're
Yeah.
doing it and you're trying different things. So I'd love to see from you what worked and what didn't work.
Well, initially we just relied on word of mouth. which
Mm.
was, great. We both have pretty extensive networks, which is helpful, very helpful. But like I said, I kind of had that wake up call back in January and realized we aren't practicing what we preach when it comes to AEO content. We're going to fall behind if we don't start doing it. So we started pumping up the volume as far as content production, and we've actually gotten clients from ChatGPT. And I have a case study on the website and talking about that it is actually producing clients. But other than that, we don't run paid ads for ourselves, but what we do use is a tool called Goji Berry. And Goji Berry is an AI tool that it's basically LinkedIn prospecting.
Okay.
So it finds prospects on LinkedIn and helps with the DMs and the whole sales flow. What didn't work for us was cold email. Cold email just didn't land. It hasn't for us. And that kind of makes sense in my mind because one, it's not our area of expertise. We do email for for companies, but they're never cold emails. And I know that when I get one, I just delete it automatically. So, it wasn't shocking to me that the cold email didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the case for everyone. I mean, other people do find success with email.
Yeah, it just like that's why I love asking this question because we hear from different people different things that work, and all of the people that we have on the show come from a cold email. So there's certain things like depends on what your offer is, I guess, is what it
Right.
is. They're
Exactly.
like it's going to be harder when you're trying to sell, and I've noticed this because we've offered an AI agent on cold email, and that was really hard to get through to
Mm,
people because it's a service, it's a product, like you're trying to sell them, and they know that. Whereas when you're building relationships, it's a little easier. There's still people that
mm,
are like, but they're getting inundated. Just like you said, you're getting so many emails every day that it's you building that trust factor. But yeah, I will totally agree with you. When you're cold emailing someone about a product or a service specifically, it's going to be a little more challenging. And you have to be, for those of you listening, if you do it, you need to understand that and be realistic on your expectations on results. The results, as far as the percentages, are typically around 3% of responses anyway. And then, so when you're selling a product or service, it's probably going to even go down from there. Right. So it's like, how many emails can you send to get the results you want? And that costs
right.
money.
It
Right.
does.
Yeah. So you have to decide like where are my funds best served?
You made me think about something just now. So, like I said, I have an AI workflow that goes through and reads all my emails and lets me know what I need to pay attention to. And most of the ones that it flags for me that like, hey, pay attention to this is because they have like some sort of urgency in the message. And so I wonder now if we're going to start seeing all these like urgent emails
Oh
come.
boy.
So that could be
Yeah.
a signal that it loses its
I
eventually.
was just going to say, if that starts happening, then AI will evolve,
It will, it
and
will.
it will find another trigger to flag or not flag, Sure.
I think that the more personalized it is, the better results, especially when you have AIs filtering your email.
Yeah, absolutely. Email's always been, one of those things that's been a learning process and
Oh
a
yeah.
curve, learning curve and good. And I think sometimes there's times where it's great, and then times where it doesn't get the results, and then times where it's great. It's like every other marketing method, right? There's ups and downs and everything. So thank you for sharing what's worked for you and what hasn't worked, because I know people listening are going, oh, okay, that's awesome. And I know there's so many people listening going, oh, they had a light bulb go off, going, oh my
Right.
gosh, I need to get on the bandwagon of this agentic platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, and what are the other ones? Perplexity and all of that.
Perplexity.
Yeah.
And then Google with their AI mode, AI overviews, Gemini. I love
Gemini.
Gemini. I use Claude for everything business, but I use Gemini for everything personal, like skincare or, like recommendations or supplements, whatever.
So you don't use chat.
I do for images.
Okay. Oh,
I
chat
do
for
for,
images has come a long way. I would say
oh,
just in the
they are the
past,
best.
Kim, for just in the past 4 weeks, because we have clients we do social media for, and
Oh,
the images, there's images I wouldn't use 4 weeks ago, and now I'm
hmm.
like, you're blowing my mind. Like I'm like
Oh,
chat. I go to chat for everything with images now. It's incredible. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like when we're recording right now. Just for those of you listening, it's May 28th. I don't know when this is going to drop, but I'm thinking July 1st. The images are just going to be within a month. It's just going to be
oh, yeah.
even better. It's just
Oh, yeah. They can do ChatGPT or GPT image 2, the second version, can handle text now. Remember how horrible text used to be trying to get text to render in an image? Now it's,
it wouldn't even spell the words right. And then you tell them
and these
exactly how to
weird
fix it.
letters.
And then you tell it how to fix it, and it still wouldn't fix it. That was only
Oh,
3 months, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
yes,
Wasn't it? Feels like it
yes.
was only like 3 months ago. Yeah. Oh, that was, I
Crazy.
stopped doing images with that. Like I was like, I give up. And then I came back and then I'm like, no text. And now the text is gorgeous. The fonts are amazing. Like, yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just creating a carousel ad for a client today, this morning, in fact, and I used GPT image, and well, I actually kind of cheat, so I'll throw this out here for people that want like a tip. So I was paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, for Perplexity, for Claude, for everything's $20 a month, right?
Yeah.
And so and then I found this site called Magi, Magai.co, and it's $20 a month, but you get all of the models, all of the AI models, and all of the image models and video, all for one price. So you can switch in between because you use one model for one thing, another model for another. So this way, I just thought I'd throw it out there if anyone wants to save $100 a month.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't know about that at all. I never heard of it. And I pay $20 a month for chat. I don't pay for the other ones yet. But I do, because I'll use the free version because I use chat a lot and chat knows
yeah,
my clients. It knows me. So I'm like,
right.
I'm nervous to move, but I know you can, and you can transfer things over, but I just haven't gotten there yet. So no,
Yeah.
that's great. So you can cancel, can you transfer everything chat knows about you? Does it go with it? Oh, it
You can't.
does.
What you do is you export from ChatGPT or Claude, and you can import them into Magi, the equivalent engines, because they have ChatGPT and Claude and all of those.
Right.
But what I love about it is that you can say you're writing something and you need to do really deep research. You can use one model like Perplexity for really deep research, and then switch mid chat to a different model to do the actual writing because Claude is fantastic at writing. So then you
Right.
can switch to Claude for the writing, and then have GPT image do your images. And so you can kind of mix and match and get whatever you need instead of having all of these disjointed chats that you're trying to keep track of.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait to try
Yeah.
this out. Yeah,
And
thank
this
you.
is pretty
That's
cool.
really
You're
cool.
welcome. Yeah,
Um,
I don't, it's not my company. I'm just a fan.
yeah, no, I love it. Thank you for sharing.
You're
So,
welcome.
Kim, we talked about challenges. We talked about growth. Um, oh, okay. If I could give you a magic wand and you can wave it over one challenge or issue that you're having right now and go poof and take it away, what would that issue or challenge be and why?
This is like the universal challenge, I think, for everyone. For me, it's getting more clients.
Mm,
We're building up our book and just getting more clients is always the challenge. So if that could magically disappear and I didn't have to do any outreach, that would be wonderful.
So how are you getting them now? What would you say is the number one or number two way that you're finding them? I know you said you had your network when you started, so that was
Right.
one way, but are there ways that you're doing it like now that you've used the network and I'm sure you're still utilizing that, but
Yeah.
what are the main ways you're doing it? Is it through LinkedIn or is it
It
through
is. It is. It's using Goji as a LinkedIn outreach tool and then offering a free. We offer to check their meta ads library and give them feedback on their ads, how they can improve. And so that's a no, I don't charge for it. Obviously, it's just an offer. And
right,
so that is working. That is working well because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And
right.
so
Yeah.
that's been working well for us. I'd like to revisit email. I just am not, I might have to hire somebody to do the outreach emails for me because I'm not good at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. So the goji berry is what's working for you with that, and you have multiple. Because I was on your website and it's awesome, and you provide a lot of different services. So
Mhm.
the reason I'm asking this is because I think it's key for people to hear that do offer multiple service because most of us do. They
Right.
say lean in with one specific offer so you're not
Mhm.
confusing. And I love that you said that that's what you lean into. You lean into you'll like look at their meta ads and do a
Mhm.
deep dive into that. So is that do you talk about other offers or do you focus solely on that one and then they find out that you have other ones? Because we always hear like you want to have one service, one niche, all of that.
Right.
And just in today's day and age, I just don't see that happening as much as it used to. And it can be confusing for a business to go, I can't talk about everything because I'm going to confuse my audience. So is that
Right.
what you talk about most and then they happen to find the other services that you offer?
Well, what I talk about most, I would say, is the AEO content and agentic commerce because all of that is so interrelated.
Okay.
It's, the schema that you need to use on a blog post to get it read by an AI properly is also you need schema for your products. And then you also need schema for your website so that the AI agents, the bots really know who you are. So they're all so related and you when you publish an article, you want to run ads to it to get a little bit of visibility because that sends the positive signals to the AI bots that this is quality content that's in demand. And so everything is so interrelated. And but I talk about the AI stuff, but I promote the paid media more because people aren't quite ready to embrace agentic commerce, even though they should be right now. They're not ready for it. It's just, I think it's a situation where they're on overwhelm.
Yeah. And again, you were at the beginning when you started launch your agency, you had said you were ahead of the curve or
Right.
ahead of the world understanding it. And again, you're a little ahead now, but that's good
Yeah.
because now you're going to be the forefather and you're going to be the expert when people are like, "Okay, I need this." Oh, who do we go to? We go to Kim because you've already been pumping content out there and
Yeah,
Chat
a lot
and
of
Claude are
content.
going to send people to you like they already are because you're putting that content out there. So for those of you listening, it's important that you are putting out information. Now, Kim, because you want these platforms like Claude and AI and Chat to find you. So when somebody has a problem with their skin because they have a rash from a reaction from a product, you're
Mhm.
that product that is can solve that problem. Chat can find it because you've been putting information out there. Doesn't
Right.
mean you're constantly
Exactly.
pumping the sales. You're just letting people know that this is what problem you solve. This is the problem people have, and that your product's available. And then chat will find that, and then we'll make you a sale while you're sleeping. Can you share with people how they can find you, and where they can go to connect with you and learn more about AI Advantage Agency?
The best place always to learn about the agency, of course, is our website, aiadvantageagency.com. They can find me on Twitter at Kim Reynolds or LinkedIn. Just do a search for Kimberly Reynolds, my formal name there. And yeah, that's really the best way. I, check all those platforms on a daily basis, especially
So,
the website.
yeah, we're going to send, and all of Kimberly's information is also in the show notes. So if you're driving, if you're out there driving, we got you, no worries. If you're watching Kim and I on YouTube, we say hello and thank you. We're grateful you're here. If you know of somebody that would benefit, and I think we all know people that would benefit from hearing this conversation with Kim and the knowledge that she's sharing and all of the gives that she's, giving you as far as different platforms and she's being very generous today. So thank you for all your sharing. Please share this interview with them and send them to AI Advantage Agency. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast platform and you're so inclined to leave a review, we would love 5 stars. That helps the platform see that this interview is popular, that you like it, and it'll help the platform push this out to more people so more people can be supported. AI's here. It's not going away. 2 years ago, I wasn't on the train. I was like, I'm gonna wait. And now there's no waiting. You've got to be into it. You've got to, be ahead of it. And I don't know if there's a possibility to be ahead of it, But I hear people all the time saying, I'm not doing it yet because there's so much to learn. It's going to change anyway. Still pick one, pick a platform, pick something to support you, or reach out to Kim or reach out to someone that can support you and go, okay, here, let's do an audit and look at what is the best tool for you right now. And
Right.
either you use that tool yourself or hire them to support you on the tool. There's many agencies like Kim that does this. So we want to make sure that these businesses are helped because it can be overwhelming. Kim said it. It can be overwhelming, especially for these small companies who are maybe just getting started or they're only running a few people. And then, they're trying to figure it out along the way. And it's just like, oh my gosh, where do I even begin? And there's little things that can support your business. So instead of you being in your emails every day, spending 3 hours trying to get through everything, like Kim uses a system or an AI agent, it can go in there and support you. And it can, put things in buckets. So you can decide when you want to go in the buckets, or it can filter it out for you and go, this is urgent. Look at this now. These are just little things that people aren't aware of that can support you. It's not going to take away relationships. When it comes to business and selling and building your client base and all of that, or growing your team, relationships still matter. But there's a lot of great tools out there that can simplify, can expedite, and can make your life easier. This is the easiest time to be growing a business because there's so many things out there. Is growing a business hard? Absolutely. It's hard work, takes work. And there's more tools now than ever that can support you and make things easier for you and your team. So Kim, looking ahead over the next 12 to 24 months, what trends in AI, marketing, and business growth are you paying the closest attention to? And what should business owners prepare for right now?
100% is agentic commerce, because even if you don't have an e-commerce business, you're still a consumer. And so, you're getting it from both sides. I think that it is just, the agents, not only are they going to be purchasing products for you, but they're also going to be purchasing services too. So if you're a service-based business, there's something, I won't get too technical into this, but there's Google Merchant Feed, which you put your products in, and then that's how Google surfaces them for their shopping carousels at the top of, when you're in Google Shopping. Well, pretty soon there's going to be that for services too. You're going to be able to basically productize your services and have them surface. And I doubt that it'll go up on Google Shopping, but it will be fed as a signal to the AI agents. So when someone is looking for a service, they will know to recommend you. So all of this stuff is coming, and it's going to be here faster than we think.
Yeah. So if you're one of those businesses that are going, I don't know what to do, then reach out to Kim. Reach out to
Oh,
her.
I'd love to
You
help you.
you can go to aiadvantageagency.com and connect with her on Twitter, also connect with her on LinkedIn. Also, all of her social media handles and information is also in the show notes. Make sure you reach out to her. She's fantastic, super friendly. She'll help you. Don't be intimidated because AI can intimidate many of us, but you're in good hands. Kim, thank you so much for being here today and for your time and for sharing your journey and your story and being so open with sharing some amazing, incredible tools that I didn't know about, and I'm sure many of our listeners didn't know about. Is there anything that I didn't get to ask you or we didn't touch on today that you would like to share before we wrap?
No, you've been very generous. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate meeting you. It's so
Ah,
nice to meet another woman in this space, and I love what you're doing with this podcast. So it's been a real pleasure for me. Thank you.
well, thank you so much. And it's great to see another woman really crushing it in the AI space because I know there's more women need to be in this space, right? Yeah,
Great.
more women need to get in. So again, for all of you listening, thank you for being here. Make sure you connect with Kim. Go to aiadvantageagency.com. Let Kim know you heard her here. And I look forward, thank you, Kim, again. And I look forward to seeing you, all of you, on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlights.